everybody. Welcome back to 4-Star Modeler. My name is Brian. Coming to you with episode number 4 of the Star Trek Into Darkness Enterprise build, Revell Germany kit. I'm going to start with a new round of details that have been found by Thorsten on the RPF, who's just a machine at this stuff, totally slipped by me, underneath the saucer. When you come around on the video that I posted, and I put the link right up here again, at 48 seconds, it's swinging in underneath the saucer here. And it reveals a couple of details at the tips of these kind of protrusions, which have split windows, which you can see right here. I'm at the 49 spot. Split windows, and then these, the protrusions, these like kind of trapezoid things, are tapered as well. They're kind of angled in, and they're straight. They're 90 degrees here. So, it's a tiny mod, but you need to hollow this out, and then put some styrene behind it, and then put a little divider in there, and you have to do that 4 times. And these aren't even windows that throw lights, because as you can see, the lights are mounted just above the area that I'm talking about. So, it super, super minor, but again, it's an accurate detail that we're trying to do here. So while I'm on this set right here, I'm going to show you what I've done. I'm about halfway through most of the accurizing. I just moved. I've been sick, a little behind where I'd like to be, but that's okay because I'm also waiting on the Azteks, which have been produced, and I've heard that from Lou the man that he's on the instructions at this point. So I'm hoping that I can get them soon. I have no idea. He hasn't given a date, and I'm sure he's tired of being asked about it, but they're coming. And he said, according to him, they're to the guide and the instructions, which someone else in the RPF forums said aren't quite screen accurate, but I mean, at this point, we'll see what we get, but I'm very excited to get those Azteks. They're going to be awesome. I already know that. So the other things to take care of in the lower saucer, you have this times 4, and then we also have these like maneuvering thrusters here that have to bridge into the gray line. I've done 2 here and here so far. On this one, you can see that I've backed it up with a sheet and brought it back down to being a square. I still owe that right here. Okay, and then I've masked off the tape as a guide, which is where I use a hard metal file, and then you can just you want to extend it up. And then you know you're going to lay some styrene sheet back in there and just do a little putty and sanding. And then also, on this one, you want to cut up into it because you want to continue the grid line into the sheet that you put down. So that's 8 total mods on the lower saucer. Okay, so it's this times 4 and this times 4. Now I want to jump up to a quick question to ask anybody. I'm 4-star modeler. I'm not 5-star because I'm not good enough to be 5-star. I need help. Everyone needs help. Everyone can get better. So here's my question. I've got this clear piece right here, and these grid lines in here. I don't want to call them grid lines, but they're the raised sections. Ideally, it's just those that are black, and then everything else is blue. And that would all be on the inside because you'd want the clear to be on the outside. So question is, how do you paint this blue and put these fine black lines in there? I don't think you can, so I think they're just all going to get washed over. Also, I've gotten the Tamiya acrylic blue, and it's a real nice match. I threw it on some of the transparent sprue. It's only even a couple coats. It's probably a little bit darker, but it's still that's going to be spot on. It's going to be really nice. So let's stay on the engines real fast, because this is just going over what I talked about last week. I'll show you what I've done. And then this right here, this exhaust port actually, and I'm at 321 at this point. You can see what I'm talking about, how it's not quite there on the model. But I it really didn't have to do much. Just put a little putty tip on it, and then I'm going to extend it out a little more, and that'll play pretty nice. Although I'm trying to show it to you from the wrong engine side, but you get the idea. That needs to be built up a touch. It needs to be a little. It's just not as strong on the plastic as it is on the model. Okay, so now I'm going to jump up here a little bit, just get another angle of these engines. is at 530. This was a mod I was talking about last week, which is, again, this is a very minor one. But you need an extra window in here times 4. So I've done that here. All you do is really just lay some sheet into there, small strips, and then it looks pretty good. This has to be cleaned up a little bit. I didn't quite get this first one as symmetrical as I would have liked, but it will pass, and I will make sure not to do it on the other one. But so you see there, and then also the length of these was off on the kit as produced, so you have to open them up a little bit, and I've done that here. And to just, I only affected these two right here, the only ones I really fixed. I just thinned them out coming in from the left and right to kind of let them match the other sizes. At the 118 mark, taking out these windows in here. Okay, so on the other side, but just opening these 4 areas up, long, thin, with 3 dividers. Okay. Details to O, which is bolts right here, and then the appearance of light fixtures right here. We're still talking about those. I haven't done those yet. Those are probably just... Okay, so now what you can see has to happen here is this look. I've put a pattern in place, and I need to tighten it up. These two aren't as close as in mine, and I've got the distance right, so if I squeeze them in a little bit more, but you can see where I'm going with this. I'm going to owe this right here, which is just going to slide right in there, and I'm going to make sure that I kind of, hit the corner. Alright? And then this grill right here actually is now its own separate piece. It fell off the other day, no matter how careful I was, but that's okay because I now know that when I come back in, I'm going to put that on first and separate, and then put this piece in so that it nails this look, and it's just going to come together just very, very easily. Now, this right in here is an interesting detail because it's on the piece itself, but it doesn't seem to fit quite right, so I actually think it needs to be mounted onto onto the actual outer part of the hull, and separated again from this ring. This will come together. I'm actually really liking how this is looking. And then the other thing here is these 2 indentations. And then the indentations here, I've gotten now. The first one, the one on the left, if you see, the right side of it is a little lower than the left side. I messed that up because I did the long tab first. So on this one, I started the short one, got it set, and then just matched it, and that's the way to do it. And the other thing is, it's kind of tough to see here. Just right here. Look at this. A phaser shot. So it exposes all this in here, which is also a great reference for this, for the navigational deflector. So you got to do copper in there and then blue, and wow, that's going to be a paint job in and of itself. But right here, you can see that this kind of starts to taper in. This is something else that Thorsten caught. The guy's a machine, man. But he's right, and I just did a little taper there. Just put a little 0.25 millimeter sheet, bam, give it that little ouch, the little out, and it just slides right up in there because you've already created the divot, and put it in there, bam. I just got to do a little more sanding on it, but it's gonna come out looking just fine, and it's gonna be a little extra added piece of detail. So so that's something else to consider too. Is that has a taper on the inside, like I have it here. So there you go. That's the debrief on where we've got these mods right now, and I'm gonna be done with these by the weekend, and also putting together the paints for the color builds that we're going to be doing. I think I'm going to send Flowquill off on this model. I'm going to grab some reefer white, some really, really light gray, and then they got platinum instead of aluminum, which is what aluminum is what it says for the Revell paint, but platinum's about the same. I guess they just want a metal sheen in there, and the primary coat is like 80, 20, 10, and then the secondary coat is like 90, 10, 10 or something like that. So it's a light gray and a lighter gray for the Azteks. Once these get going, since I'm not lighting it, this model should come together pretty quickly. As long as I still want to try to get it done with the energy. We'll see. But in any event, I'll be putting it all together and eagerly awaiting those Azteks. And this will be fun. And then I'll get on to the next set of models that we're going to do, and we'll take the show on from there. So thank you very much. This has been episode number 4 of 4-Star Modeler. My name is Brian, and I will see you in a couple days. Take it easy, guys.